Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to learn the first unit of Web and Internet Technologies. Few topics in that. Web and Internet Technologies. Here we are going to learn about the first topic is regarding Internet. As we all know, how to make use of an Internet, and we have a brief idea about what is an Internet. Generally, what we call it is a global network. It is a network where all the computers are being connected to communicate. So we call it as a global network where all the computers are interconnected to communicate using standard protocols. Protocol is a set of instructions how to communicate. So we also call it as a communication backbone, where why? Because it allows us to exchange the information and services, like how we are going on exchanging our files multimedia across the world using emails, videos, chats over the internet. And if you see that it is a decentralized system, there is no central control over it, where multiple networks are connected. And the internet is an infrastructure, while www, what we often think to be an internet, is just a service that runs on the internet, which allows access to the web pages, and users can access the internet via internet service providers and interact with various services like browsing, streaming, or using online applications. Major services include email, file sharings, video streaming, social media, and cloud computing. This is about an internet. And our next topic is the World Wide Web. World Wide Web, generally we often call it WWW. It is commonly known as web. It is a subset of the internet where we are trying to access and interact with the information that is available over the internet. Okay. To know the history, it was invented by Sir Tim Berners-Lee in 1989 and became publicly accessible in the early 1990s. So if we see what is WWW, it is a collection of publicly accessible web pages which are interconnected through hyperlinks. Hyperlink is when you click on that link, you will be navigating to the page that has been directed to, and it runs on the infrastructure that is what we call it as an internet. And web pages, what's a web page? A web page is primarily written in HTML, that is hypertext markup language, which will be using certain tags and markup language, okay, which will be viewed using web browsers. As we know, we commonly use Chrome, Edge, Safari, web browsers. These are the examples for web browsers. And how does the World Wide Web works? It works on a client-server model. So here we need to understand the architecture of a client and the server. Okay, users, whoever might be the users, if I am searching on the web for an Instagram, okay, so I have clicked on an Instagram, I am a user, so I will be called as a client. And through my browser, when I have searched for an Instagram, it will be using a browser. Okay, the browser will be sending a request to the web server of the Instagram, and which has stored and served some web pages. Okay, so that will be putting a request to the server where the Instagram is being located, and from there it will be rendering us the web pages. Okay, web pages that has been done, and it uses protocols. I already told you that what is a protocol. Protocol is a set of instructions or the set of rules that has to be followed for the communication. Okay, here HTTP or HTTPS protocols are being used. Okay, communication between the client and the server is facilitated using HTTP or HTTPS protocols. HTTPS is for security versions. Okay, defining how requests and responses are being structured. And a World Wide Web works through URLs. Okay, URLs are uniform resource locators. How we'll search www.googlesearch.com, google.com. Those are the URLs. And hyperlinks. Hyperlinks are web pages that are connected through hyperlinks, enabling users to navigate from one page to another. Okay, forming a network of content. Okay, so this is how World Wide Web works. And so when we are talking about WWW, we need to talk about client-server model. Okay, and coming to the functions of WWW, using WWW, we are searching for the pages, we are connecting to the pages, okay, by clicking on the hyperlinks. So here what we are having, information access we are having, where primary function of WWW is to provide access to vast amounts of information that is available in text, images, and videos. And it provides us interactivity. Okay, so it may be images, videos, multimedia content, or form submissions. It may be allowing users to engage with the content and the services that is providing. Okay, one more function is e-commerce and services, which provides online shopping, social networking, okay, and content sharing. These are the few functions of the WWW. Next is web browsers. Web browsers, generally whenever we want anything to be searched over the internet, we will be making use of a web browser. A web browser is a software application which will be used to access, retrieve, and view information on the WWW. Okay, they will be interpreting and displaying web pages, allowing user to interact with the websites through hyperlinks, forms, multimedia content, and other elements. Okay, how are they going to work? Using URL. We know when we click on it. Okay, the browser, whatever we are making use of, it may be Chrome, it may be Opera, it may be Firefox, okay, Safari, anything. So the browser converts that URL to an IP address using a domain name system. Okay, and the browser sends a request. Here again we are talking about client server. I puts a request to the server to host the content of the website, and the server gives the response, and it renders whatever content that has been requested to the client. Rendering means displaying. Okay, rendering means displaying the content on the web page that the user has requested or the client has requested. Okay, HTML code, it is rendering means displaying this HTML code. Okay, it renders the web page layout by combining HTML, CSS, JavaScript. For the interactivity, okay, we will be making use of JavaScript. For static websites, we will be making use of HTML, and it will be helping us to display the content. So, and it allows interaction also. And the main functions of the web browser is to render the web pages, to navigate from one page to another, or to the you may be going forward, backward, or refresh. Okay, these kind of navigations it will be helping. And security, if at all if you are using HTTPS, so it will be helping the users to secure connections, to protect the users content from malicious content. Okay, and the other functions may include bookmarking, downloading, and other extensions like adding some functionality plugins or extensions, ad blockers, password managers, and all. Okay, so a few examples of web browsers are Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox. If you see on top, I have kept the logos of all the web browsers which we are used to. Okay, so these are being developed by few companies which I have given here. You can go through that. And the next topic is regarding web servers. Web servers is again a software or hardware that stores, processes, and delivers web pages to clients over the internet. We were talking about the server, client-server model. Okay, here, see, it handles requests made by the client and serves the requested content such as HTML pages, images, scripts. Now coming to the functions of the web server, it will be hosting the web content. Web server stores and delivers web pages that are associated with the files that have been requested by the user. Okay, and handling client request. Whenever you are using a web browser, through web browser you are searching for something, you are putting a request to that server. So it will be making use of HTTP or HTTPS request. Okay, so using those based upon the type of the request, it is going to the appropriate server, and it will be rendering those. Taking the response from the server, it will be rendering over the web page. And the other function of web server is load balancing. That means how many requests are being coming to the server, and it is how many responses it is able to give it. Okay. And next is security. Implements. Here security means it implements encryption protocols for the sake of secure communication. And next is logging and monitoring. So for web server also tracks the user activity, what kind of requests it is the client is sending, and how the server is performing. Server performance is also being analyzed, and troubleshooting also is being tracked. And how it works. So it is based upon the first step of how the web servers work is through the client request. When a web browser or device sends a request to the web server using HTTP or HTTPS protocol, the web server receives the request, interprets the request, whether it is asking for an HTML page, whether it is asking for an image or a file, and fetch the resources. It locates the requested files, process the dynamic content using the backend technologies like Node.js, Python, PHP, and the server gives the response. Giving the response means it sends the requested content back to the client as an HTTP response, and that response is rendered to the client through a web browser. That means the received data will be rendered over the web browser. In that way, the client will be able to view the content that he is requested for. Okay, examples for web servers are Apache HTTP server, Nginx, Microsoft IIS, Lightspeed, Node.js. These are the few examples for web servers. These servers will be used to host static websites as well as dynamic web applications. Okay, and the next topic is URL. URL means Uniform Resource Locator. For example, when we say www.google.com, okay, it is a web address.